this into context for us. What is happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple different ways to frame this. One is just what you said, that the market's down 50% from its all-time highs. And the other way to frame this is that it's up 1,000% over the past year. Right? So when we talk about a correction here, really all we've done is gone back to the all-time highs that we set only 6 weeks ago. So it hasn't been much of a correction yet, at least not in comparison to some historical corrections.
I want you to take a look at a chart, G#BTV7721, which shows some perspective on Bitcoin slide. So you see the run up, as you pointed out, and you also see the fall. You know, where do you think this is going? I mean, are we coming back to earth? Is this reality?
Yeah, I think there's really two different sides of the story here. So first, there's the Bitcoin side, right? And I think if we try and think about what's going on in the market today, it really makes sense in the context of there was a lot of speculative activity leading up to the launch of these derivatives and futures products that should lead to the institutionalization of Bitcoin. And so I think that that was kind of a sell the news type of event, and some of those speculators that piled in beforehand exited their positions, driving price a bit lower. Now, that said, some people were expecting these institutions to enter the market and come bulging out of the gate. And in reality, institutions move in a scale more of years, not weeks or days, right? So I still think that that story is going to materialize and it will push Bitcoin higher, but it might take a couple months.
So do you think we're in a Bitcoin bubble, or that a Bitcoin bubble is popping right now?
You know, I don't think that we're in a Bitcoin bubble over the next 3 years. I mean, if price goes lower from here, then certainly we will call it a bubble, right? We'll look at the all-time highs over 20,000, and we'll look at it being lower, and we'll say that it was a bubble. But I think that if we look and we see it higher 3 years from now, we'll say that it wasn't really much of a bubble.
Now, you invest in blockchain-focused companies. So how is this impacting the investing landscape? What's coming across your desk, and how enthusiastic, or is it changing your level of enthusiasm? Yeah,
so we're a venture firm overall, so we have really long duration in all of our positions. So it's not affecting us a lot. We can be really patient with this market. So we had actually already taken a little bit of money off the table, and we're holding a little bit of dry powder. So as the market goes down, we can always buy back into some of the positions that we really like and at cheaper prices. And we'll certainly do that when the time's right.
So what kind of positions do you like right now? What are you optimistic about?
You know what? Whenever the market's going down, I certainly like Bitcoin. It's the most resilient out of all the crypto assets that are out there. And a lot of times when you see a down market in these assets, it doesn't rotate all the way back to USD, to fiat currency. A lot of it stays trapped in the ecosystem, and their flight to safety is actually Bitcoin. So while most investors consider Bitcoin to be very far out in the risk spectrum, within the crypto community, this is viewed as the safe haven.
What about some of the smaller assets? What are you most excited about? What is the next Bitcoin?
Yeah. Well, for one, I think that some of the smaller assets could have a lot further to go down. I mean, a lot of these coins are valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, and they haven't released any kind of a product yet. And how do we explain those kind of valuations and those kind of price moves?
You can't.
I think that overall, well, I think we can actually. I think that largely it's because seed stage investing, early stage investing has been romanticized a lot over the past couple decades. People hear about these stories of people being a seed investor in an Uber. And that's an opportunity that most investors have not had access to. All of a sudden in the crypto market, these ICOs have created a new opportunity for retail investors to participate for the first time. And how did they react to that? They were like kids in a candy store, right? Going wild. And I think that now a lot of those people are learning the hard lesson, which is that with early stage investing, failure rates are very, very high.